Camera speed.
Insert.
Welcome back.
Did there? Whoa.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Not So Round Table. You guys know how we do here. You guys submit questions. In previous videos, I was going into our helm of reasoning, and then George starts every single question.
Wait, what? Incendiary Gaming asked, dear insert, what video game would you want to see gear made from, i.e. Halo, ODSTs? Oh, Halo ODSTs, I guess the outfit. I'm not a Halo fan, so full kit or Stormtrooper or Clone Troopers. I don't know. What would you think would be the... What's funny is most futuristic movies nowadays are just using Airsoft kit in it.
Yeah, that's true. I probably would have to know more video games to do that. I would say that I would probably choose something from Insurgency, but that just uses normal Airsoft stuff.
What video games are you playing these days? Just Insurgency?
Just Insurgency. The guys are trying to get me to play Arma, but there's no way in hell I have enough storage space for Arma.
Arma's a very interesting game, or at least it used to be. I played it briefly, and I thought it was boring.
Arma 3 is gigantic.
I started playing City Skyline. It's like a Finland company remade or made a different version of SimCity that's like better.
I don't know how you can make SimCity better. That game.
No, the last SimCity had issues. Come on, you couldn't play offline. You couldn't. There's a lot of other issues with the game.
Look, dude,
exactly. This one you can expand your city. It's so cool. I've been addicted to it.
I went right from Roller Coaster Tycoon,
which was an awesome game,
to Flight Simulator and then CS. So I never played any of the sim.
Did you ever play Rail Coaster Tycoon 2?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those are all really fun.
Yeah, but I never liked building my own roller coasters, anyway, so I would always download them online.
This is my fault for going off tune. I would say Starship Troopers would be probably that's not a video game.
Yeah,
it said video game specific.
There is a video game.
All right, I want everybody to look like they're in Quake 3.
Well, there you go. And then I'll choose this for S's and G's Team Fortress 2.
Oh God.
Because that would be, and if we could do like the whole I don't know how you do low grav, but that'd be awesome.
That would be great for.
Pathfinder Woodsman asks, dear insert, what are your opinions on using household items as airsoft gear? For example, snorkel goggles as eye pros, dental masks as lower face mask, or even aprons as chest rigs. Keep up the great work.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you can't use non-ANSI rated goggles. I would never advise that. Mm-hmm. But let's go with the funny household items.
Yeah.
We've kind of touched on this before, sort of, but we didn't go into the household items thing. I think an apron would be a hilarious chest rig.
And, I mean, if it's got like the little things in the front, you can keep ammo, mags, and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. That'd be good.
Yeah.
What else? There was something else I thought of. I think slippers would make great. Play around with slippers, apron, bathrobe.
It would certainly be comfortable. You might have traction issues with slippers.
They might just fly off.
Yeah.
And then you're like, ow, 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 step on the BBs. What do you think?
In terms of head protection, you're not going to have a whole lot of stuff that's going to be
a bowl
at home. Yeah, okay, so you could you could use a mixing bowl, but imagine it, dude, it's already loud enough when you get hit with a plastic airsoft helmet. If you're wearing like a pan and it's just like ding, you're like, oh man, I just need to get out of here.
And then your melee weapon would be a skillet.
And I would use for
a spatula.
For hand protection, I'd use oven mitts with the finger cut out for my trigger
I was about to say, how are you gonna shoot?
Yeah.
What else could there be that would be pretty funny?
A raincoat, like a bright yellow raincoat for no reason.
That was really actually a lot funnier than I imagined it was going to be. This is one left over before SHOT Show because it has our toner.
Funny fact, Save Face, in addition to making airsoft masks, also makes welding masks. So, if you're a welder or you have welding equipment at home, you just might have a Save Face mask as well.
And now you know.
Yeah.
And
Knowing's half the battle? Is that the... Okay.
Hey, this is by TornCrow69. Hey, insert, love the show. My question is, with 3D printers becoming more available and using better plastics, how do you think this could change airsoft? As in being able to pay a price for blueprints and printing your own gun at home or designing one yourself, or printing major components. Would love to hear from your opinions. That's an interesting topic.
It is. I've got some things.
Okay, how about you go first?
Okay. Sure. Well, with the advent of 3D printing, you have the ability to produce an object that you would have it would have been easier to mass produce in the past. That means that prototyping is going to be faster these days, especially because prototyping quickly is a way for companies to get a product to market more quickly. So you're going to see airsoft innovations start to happen more quickly because they don't have to go through so many models. For the end user, you may be able to afford a 3D printer and print basic things like a magazine shell or maybe a grip. But the reality is anything with moving components like a steel or metal gearbox, the individual gears and things, you'll probably still have to purchase because unless you have a metal 3D printer, which they're currently not very affordable, that would be difficult to do. Although you probably could download plans for like a rail, but I've looked into that recently. It's actually, there aren't a whole lot of three-dimensional plans that are any good for using with 3D printers currently for rails. And even if you did, you'd have to have a 3D printer large enough to print the entire object.
That is a good answer.
Sorry.
I mean, we actually have a 3D printer here, something I mostly mess with. So far, we've basically been using it for some prototyping stuff, but more recently, we used it to print a custom part that we wanted to build for the 240.
That's true. That's actually really nice.
Basically, we were running into issues with the feeding mechanism being metal and our plastic tube being plastic. So it was, those two components don't usually glue together very well.
That and our slapdash cardboard spacer started to break down.
So we just built everything into one piece. Took like 2 tries to get it perfectly fitting. So,
and the material cost was relatively low.
Yeah, and then now it's glued to it, so it's plastic glued to plastic, so it fits really well, and it has the spacer built in, and it feeds great. Coming to Copperhead, near you.
If you're in Plias, then it would be near you. So your question? Is that right?
Awkward silence.
Okay. OP Spartan Airsoft asks, I get really bad knee pain after a game. What's the best knee support for Airsoft? Copperfit. Sorry. It's like, I watched that. It's always...
I've never tried Copperfit.
It's always, what's his name? The football player who's like, I wear Copperfit for all my... and it's him doing like...
John Elway, or is that...
No.
Brett Favre?
I don't remember. He's doing like farm work.
That's Brett Favre.
Is it?
Yeah.
No? Okay. So I don't watch football.
Good question.
You have an actual answer.
Yeah, I have answers because I have knee problems. So people understand my knee problems. I'm going to talk about my knee. So I've had a total of 3 major injuries on my right knee and 1 major knee injury on my left knee. Both of which, they put a big toll on your body. And actually, from when I moved to Los Angeles, which was 2007, until now is the first time that I feel like both my knees are like 100%-ish.
Your knees take a long time.
Yeah, and it's taken a long time for that to happen. Keep in mind, I've been playing airsoft and hockey through those injuries for years, and most of them were hockey-related injuries. But I mean, my major one was a skiing accident in the early 2000s.
So I've seen in games sometimes I've seen you wearing a brace, or maybe between games I've seen you wearing some sort of support. Yeah. What do you use?
For basically, I have a collection of braces from just Sports McDivot's, which you can get at like Sports Chalet or anywhere else. I also have another one. It's from a company. I don't really know the name of it. Maybe I'll post it in the link below. But it's a company that does a really high-end brace. I think Kobe Bryant wears one.
Oh, interesting.
For his knees. And
it must be good.
It actually did a lot for me. It did a lot of. It's kind of weird how a brace can do that, but it actually helps a lot. So another one of my teammates turned me onto that company.
Okay. Now I've also seen. I may have not. Maybe I'm just misremembering. But do you ice your knee ever at events?
No, not usually anymore. I don't have to. I used to when I was playing through, the injuries would get swelling, and I would have to ice afterwards. Okay. Currently, I don't. like I said, I've finally gotten over the. That's what some people don't understand is maybe the last like 3 or 4 years has been really tough to be able to get back to 100%.
So, as a suggestion for OP Spartan Airsoft, if he is getting swelling,
ice it
just
afterwards.
like a traditional sports
exactly.
injury.
You just gotta take it easy on it. My specific problem are both with my patellas. It's called a patella sublux, which basically means your patella or kneecap will pop in and out, and it hurts when it does. And that
sounds exciting.
Yeah. I've had meniscus problems. Luckily, I haven't had any huge ligament problems, which is probably the reason why my knees have recovered to close to 100%. But yeah, there's a fun fact.
And that was some good sports-related care instructions. Thanks, George.
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand of what you go through after an injury. Like a serious one.
It's always funny, the argument between, is this a sport or a hobby? And people are like, oh, it's a hobby because there's no organized body. And I get that. That's true. But, I mean, you can have sports injuries because you are using the same physical activity that you would in a sport. So whether you call it a hobby or not, you still
have all those opportunities to hurt yourself. And if anything, you're less focused. Like, for example, if you go hiking or running, you're focused on what you're... this is part of the question.
Yeah, sucker.
So when you go hiking or when you're like this, you're concentrating on your path.
Right.
Versus airsoft, you're not. You're concentrating on your targets.
Right.
So you have almost a greater
risk
of injuring yourself, especially in like uneven ground. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a good question though. Jackson's 11 asked, "Dear Insert, if you could pick a Kalashnikov style weapon that is yet to be made for airsoft, what would it be?" For me, it would be the GBB SKS.
Okay. What's a Kalashnikov style weapon that they don't make in airsoft?
Pretty much like the SKS.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's off the top of my head.
What about is the MKM?
Oh no, I got an answer.
Is the MKM the real thing? Is there an MKM?
I don't know. I have my real answer though.
Okay. I don't have one.
You don't have an answer?
I'm sorry.
It's all right. My answer would be the Sega shotgun with the magazine that can have like the drums.
The Sega 12 with the
drums.
Sega 12. Wait, that's a Kalashnikov style?
That's technically a Kalashnikov style.
Should have said that.
So a Sega 12
okay, I know
drum
what that
mag.
is. I could have said that.
And it's got to use the APS shells.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna play it like FPS Russia, one in each hand, or like the Old Spice guy in
Terry Crews?
No, Terry Crews.
Like, oh!
What is Expendables when he's just like shooting both?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
Old Spice
guy.
Just
like Old Spice guy. And I'll just scream. Ba, 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 ba.
I'm sorry, I don't
You know, it's a shame that tune has never made a plug inside the Expendables.
That's true. And, well...
Like, you know how it'd be funny? Just if you have one scene where he's like washing himself with Old Spice.
Just a cameo of the bottle.
Just a cameo.
Philip Weatherby asks, Dear Insert, in games with friends in a relatively small area of operations, AO, I have a tendency to rush and make highly aggressive maneuvers, like simply running straight at people. In parentheses, granted, I haven't been hit. End parentheses. And simply shooting them with my pistol. They complain that I'm unsportsmanlike to do with this. Bro... This is what I do. This is my thing.
That's what I used to do in paintball.
Like there is no greater offense than shock and awe. And if that means that you get to the halfway point and start engaging them before they're expecting you,
and if that means you make some people upset, well, you know what?
This is airsoft, bro.
On a side note,
you're not getting shot at. Get off the field. Sorry.
Matt's got his rant out of the way. When I used to play paintball back in just out of high school, just before I switched colleges, we played a few tournaments. And our team literally was just a bunch of like gung-ho young kids when I was in much better shape. And all we would do is every single tournament, every time we played, all 5 of us would just rush to 50.
Yup.
And so basically our games would either end quickly because we won,
or end quickly because everybody's dead.
Because we're all dead.
Yeah.
So, but that's the way we like to play. That's the way I like to play Airsoft too, especially in CQB. Love just rushing to a forward position where I can get an advantage.
Yeah.
And if it's unsportsmanlike, here's the thing though, is you have to think about it this way. If you are playing with a small group of friends, and if you are destroying your friends might not want to play with you anymore. So you got to think about that. You know, it sucks, but you know, people get held back at events all the time to make sure that the other side at least has some fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes you have to understand is sometimes the side just gets beat up and they need a little help.
The other thing you can do
so
is
you don't want to make somebody not want to play with you because then you won't not have anybody to play with.
Yeah.
My 2 cents.
It was a good 2 cents. It was like 4 cents. It was so
well,
valuable. It was 4 cents.
How about, was that your question?
No. Yes. It was mine.
So I will do the last question.
Okay. Side note, if they're still having a problem, I wouldn't agree that it's unsportsmanlike, but if they're still having a problem, hang back for like 10 to 15 seconds so they can get further into the field, and then it's a challenge for yourself to see, okay, how can I flank, how can I push up, how can I use the angles, how can I use cover, and how can I use the sounds going on the field to give myself more of a challenge and also to be sneaky and to engage people in a different way.
Damn.
Boom.
Good answer.
Yeah.
This is a good question. Eric Gustafsson. Yeah, see?
Okay.
Asks, Dear Insert, what do you think about combat airsoft while skiing or snowboarding? I think this sounds like an amazing idea.
Oh man.
So
embarrassing. If I could ski or snowboard, I'd be really into it.
I could ski pretty well, or very well, I should say. I'm not gonna be modest. Screw that. I was a ski instructor in ski patrol when I was younger. That's how I hurt myself.
Can I just put on winter camos and lay in the snow while others snowboard around me?
That would be fine. But here's what we would do. This is how cool. Remember that scene in True Lies, like when he's leaving the banquet and all those guys are like skiing after him with like
okay.
with like I think they're like MP7s or MP9s or whatever.
Some sort of
that would be
like
so cool.
MP5Ks.
Just to reenact that sequence. And you could be the guy. You could be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So I wouldn't have to.
You wouldn't have to ski, but you'd have to outrun people with skiing with a KMP9 shooting you.
Well,
And then you kill us all because you're Arnold Schwarzenegger and it's an action movie.
Yeah.
And then we go flying.
I'm down with that.
And then my skis don't fall off and I break my other knee again.
Or we could do like an Archer reference and do airsoft on snowmobiles.
So wouldn't that be? Would that be like XXX style then?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, what? Roger doesn't like XXX.
What's wrong with XXX, Roger?
A lot.
I liked that movie.
Of course, there's a lot wrong with it. See, the thing is, you have to understand that some movies are just entertaining. They're not necessarily good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
come
thought
on.
it was a good movie.
Do you think I really think that True Lies is a great movie? No. But is it absolutely entertaining? Yes.
I liked both of those movies.
Yes, but you like them because they're entertaining.
No, I mean,
you're not going to be like, oh, that's an Academy Award winner right there.
I don't know. True Lies was a really good movie.
Especially. Roger's just like, I hate you right now.
Seriously.
He's like glaring.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us on the latest episode of the Not So Round Table. Hopefully we were able to answer a lot of your questions. You guys can continue bickering as I finish this episode. If you guys have any future questions, submit them in the helm of reasoning.
It's okay. We're going to put Roger in the seat next week. Yeah, that's right. You're going to sit here next week. You're going to be on the show.
And we'll see you guys next week.
It's happening next week.